Well, let's talk about peptides because it's everywhere. So recently, Health Canada put out a warning, concern about using unauthorized peptides. And the FDA in 2023 also put a hold on peptides being sold by compounding pharmacies. So let's get down and dirty and talk about peptides. Peptides have been around for a really long time. In fact, I learned about peptides about 10 years ago in my anti-aging and regenerative conferences. You know, what I'm going to say about peptides is some of them have a lot of merit, others may not. There always could be a lot of hype about them. So years ago, I learned about PT-141. It was supposed to be the new thing, amazing for sex for both men and women. Of course, you know, it was like me doing, Dr. Oh my God, I wanted to know if this is legit. And basically got it from the US, tried it, and unfortunately it was a dud. But also just to show you how something came out as a peptide that was under the wire. It now is the medication Bremelanotide that is readily available both in the US and Canada for sexual dysfunction. And unfortunately, it's not the biggest thing around that everybody was talking about. And even Mounjaro or Tirzepatide is a peptide. And originally, again, it had a name, a number, and people were talking about it, and now it's readily available. Reta or Retatrutide is another one that is in the pipeline. It's being studied by Eli Lilly, and data is showing really good stuff about it. So it's different than the regular Ozempic is a GLP-1, Mounjaro GLP and a GIP, and then Reta is supposed to work on a third receptor, glucagon, and it's supposed to give us faster weight loss, better metabolism, more burn. So I do think the literature that we see so far is showing that it might be a better drug. But with everything, what we sort of see in small studies and then what happens in the general population are very different. I think in the US, a lot of the peptides are available through compounding pharmacies. And so a lot of physicians in the US are using peptides for quite a long time and have quite a bit of experience. But the FDA put a hold on it in 2023. And then recently, our FK Jr. himself had an injury and was using some peptides and found some amazing benefits. So he's now trying to revisit the restriction and allow it to be more readily available. But part of the problem is, yes, a lot of these peptides come from pharmaceutical companies that developed it for research purposes. And then what's happening is there's a whole underground where people are getting it kind of illegally, not really for research. And, if you actually got it from a legit site, great, but there's no real monitoring. So many counterfeits are out there. And so when you're ordering online or getting it even from a personal trainer, a gym, again, how do you verify where you're getting it? Is it pure? Like, what are you injecting? So everything we do in life is a risk-benefit ratio. And also, I'm just going to comment that, a lot of people will use and stack peptides.
Like, what is your stack of peptides that you like?
So I do NAD.
I'm thinking, oh my God, it's the best thing since sliced bread. But we are a walking chemistry set. There's so many nuances. There's genetics, there's environment. And so what you think should happen may not actually happen in yourself. We actually might be doing some harm. So I like waiting and watching and seeing what happens to make sure that we're safe. I've heard a lot of stories regarding BPC 157, especially from the US, where, people will use it in an injured spot and have much faster recovery. So yeah, I think that would be something that's amazing. But again, still getting it, from an unauthorized dealer, not Health Canada or FDA approved. I think we have to be really cautious because, again, what you think you might be getting may not be getting. And, I've had experiences with peptides in the past, through education, so I know all about them. But also when my first husband was diagnosed with cancer, we were desperate at a point and also got introduced to a gentleman who, was saying he's the top specialist in peptides and bought a whole bunch of peptide, cost like $10,000. And at the end of the day, it didn't do anything. If anything, I might have felt that it aggravated the situation. So in the end, it's always important to do your research. Influencers are not medical professionals, personal trainers. I know there's a whole underground within the fitness industry, but I just want to let you think about two things. Charles Poliquin was a famous personal trainer to the Olympians, to actors, and he was stacking all the hormones and peptides, and he died of a heart attack in his 60s. Cengenics was also a big functional medicine clinic that was very into lifestyle medicine, hormone optimization, peptides, and working out. But they would overdose maybe a little more the testosterone and growth hormone. And again, two of their top guys who were in fantastic health dropped dead of a heart attack. So why? Something they were doing, but they seem to be doing everything right. So be cautious, go to an expert, do your research, make sure you know what you're actually injecting. When it comes to educating yourself, it's not just watching Instagram and influencers, it's really actually looking at the data and looking at research studies. So just because it's on Instagram and you see these guys stacking and they're telling you how to do it and use it, you don't know, again, what their true health story is. And some of these guys, you look at them and they don't look optimal either. And again, be careful, because if you start taking over your own hormones and peptides, that you don't have that homeostasis, that normal feedback loop, and you might be messing with your body in the end. And you can shut off all your natural hormones like growth hormone and other things. And when you then stop taking peptides because you're tired or something else happens or it's not as readily available, you may be in a worse situation than you were when you first originally started. At Vitality, again, it's not about just using a single peptide or a hormone. It's the whole kit and caboodle. It's looking at diet, lifestyle, nutrition, stress management, sleep, hormone balance, and replacing deficient nutrients. So if you really want to optimize your health, that's what you should be doing. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Sherry Kaplan, Medical Director of Vitality MD. If you want to know more, book an appointment, DM us, send us a comment. Love to hear from you.